3.
Welcome to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. This is our weekly program featuring everything that is coming up in the area's music, arts, and entertainment scene. We will interview local artists, authors, musicians, and even some nationally recognized names who may be performing here in our area. We will have movie reviews and film suggestions from the real dad, Mark Schumann, and etiquette tips from Catherine Michaels. This is your all-access pass, and here are your hosts, Arts and Leisure editor Sally Sanders and our entertainment reporter Steve Coulter.
Welcome to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. I'm your host, Steve Coulter. I'm joined on the couch, as always, with arts editor Sally Sanders.
Good afternoon.
We've got your Oscar recap show today. First, to start off with, just got to say, I think it was a great show this year. We're going to do winners, losers, and some snubs, but I think it was a really good show. And
some would disagree with you.
I know. I'm just thankful that we have the show on a Thursday afternoon and not a Monday morning.
We've had a chance
to digest that the producers here at the network and our audiences aren't craving for our analysis right in the moment like so many other people want to give. And I feel like that knee-jerk reaction takes away a lot from the Academy Awards every year. I feel like people need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and think about it a little bit. Because that that quick gut reaction never does any good.
Well, I think people like to tweet their dismay.
I know,
with
and that's part of the issue here. I think we're going to get into how to fix the Academy Awards in a little while. But
well, we're finding that negative does seem to sell better than positive these days.
Oh, of course,
you know?
Of course.
So
well, why don't we start off with some positives, though? Because this show
positive is
yeah,
Spotlight.
It is. We've got a lot of winners from the show on Sunday night. Journalism, Spotlight was winner of Best Picture.
And an interesting one we were talking about before is that this was something that was played on the film festival circuit.
Right. Film festivals were another big winner. Our film critic Mark Schumann was kind of hinting at last week that if The Revenant had won, it would have signaled kind of how movies would shift and not play the film festival game, the circuit, September, October, November.
That's the film festival thing is a fairly recent
sure, but
thing.
It's now, I think it's 5 or 5. You have
because
Argo, you have 12 Years a Slave, Artist, and then you have Spotlight. All 4 film festival darlings.
Yeah, and later in the show, we're actually going to have a film festival.
I know, we're very excited to have Joanne Hudson here from the Richfield Independent Film Festival. She's going to help us break down how to fix the Academy Awards and also talk about the first ever film festival in Richfield.
Yeah.
So besides Spotlight and journalism as a whole, what are some of your other winners from the weekend?
Well, my highlight also was Mark Rylance, who I just think is...
He gave a great speech, too.
He did, and he's such a great stage actor, and it was nice to see how well he translated to the screen.
He was one of 8 acting nominees to get their first nomination this year. 3 of the 4 acting winners were those first-time nominees.
First-timers.
Yeah, Brie Larson, Mark Rylance, and Alicia Vikander.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show that there's a lot of talent out there that's not being used maybe as much as it should be.
And there's a lot of complaints about the 20 actors that were nominated, but I think they all gave great performances, and it was, great to see 8 first-timers there. You've got Bryan Cranston. He's one of the best in the business.
He was the first-timer for an Oscar.
Yeah. Jennifer Jason Leigh, another great actress.
Yeah.
First-time nominee.
Well, it's interesting. Of course, the elephant in the room was the Oscars so white.
Yep, and Chris Rock did a great job. I think he was one of the winners from the evening. I thought his opening monologue was one of the best that they've ever had. I thought it was a lot better than last year's Neil Patrick Harris introduction, which was a little sloppy and all over the place. Rock didn't let it get out of hand. I think he kept a pretty, close grip on the wheel, and he was at it all night, which was good. He didn't just, address it in the opening monologue and let it go. Every time he came back on stage, he kind of poked around on it a little bit, and I think that kept it fresh, and it didn't lose any steam or momentum. He allowed it to breathe, but he also allowed it to kind of play a role into the night.
How did you feel about his treatment of the Smiths? I thought he was a little harsh on them.
He went right at the Smiths. I kind of liked it, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, because what he had said basically was that Will would have been nominated, could have been nominated, and he would have been invited. But Jada Pinkett wasn't in any movie that was worth nominating, so what's her real complaint?
Yeah, it's sort of like, what was the comparison he made, sort of like me not going to a party that was thrown by Rihanna. Right. Because I wasn't invited.
Sure, exactly. Another big winner from the evening besides Chris Rock was Shivo, the cinematographer from The Revenant. Alejandro picked up his, Alejandro Inarritu, the director, picked up his second back-to-back for Best Directing, and Shivo was back-to-back-to-back. in cinematography.
Well, here's a question. Is Inarritu so good because of Chivo?
We'll see.
Can he do a film without?
I think El Chivo's working on a few different projects now without Alejandro attached to him. So we'll see.
His first Oscar was not with Inarritu.
Right. So that was with Gravity.
Yeah,
Alfonso
with Cuarón.
Cuarón.
Yeah. So
it'll be interesting to see how that relationship keeps going.
I mean, I don't know how the clash of egos works, or whether they just are so simpatico that they'll always work together.
They're a dynamic duo now. Yeah. They've got 5 Oscars between them, and The Revenant wasn't the big winner from the night. And I think that's because of the convoluted voting system that Mark was trying to explain last week here on the couch. And this is the I Told You So segment, because I did call Spotlight here.
You did?
And
you did.
It was the big winner from the evening with Best Picture. I think the other big winner from the evening, besides the film festivals and all these different people, was screenwriters. Spotlight only won 2 awards, and it really beat The Revenant out, I think, because The Revenant didn't have that screenwriting nomination. It didn't have much of a script. The original screenplay category really proved to be instrumental, because without that victory for Spotlight, if Straight Outta Compton had upset or Inside Out had upset, who knows what would have happened.
Well, and a shout out to The Big Short too for winning.
They won
for
the adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
That was good for them to get the win. And I thought Ryan Gosling was really funny on stage with Russell Crowe. I thought that was one of the highlights of the night.
Yeah, real bromance, everyone says.
Yeah, they've got that movie coming out in May. What were some of your losers from the evening? Not to turn a negative light on.
Well, some of my disappointments.
Sure.
Everybody will say Lady Gaga.
Yeah, she was the biggest snub of the night for sure. I think.
mean, there wasn't a dry eye in the house when she did that song.
I can't recall personally a better performance at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've only been watching. I'm 25, so I've only been watching for, let's say, 18 years.
Well, last year the theme from Selma was as equally moving. Was that last year?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Common.
Yeah.
And John Legend.
Yeah, I mean that was.
And they won it. And they won. That's the unfortunate part is that Lady Gaga didn't win, but she did have a great performance.
She did. It was awesome, and having the Vice President of the United States come to introduce you is pretty good too.
Definitely, and I saw online that her grandma and her aunt had no idea that she had been a victim of sexual assault.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they found out that night as they watched her perform.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she really kept that one close to the vest there, so to speak.
So that was probably my biggest disappointment.
You weren't disappointed to see Mark Rylance beat Sylvester Stallone, because people
are
saying people are saying that was a big snub.
No, that was a happy thing for me.
The 2 favorites that lost were Stallone and Lady Gaga. That's without question. I think one of my biggest disappointments was Abe Vigoda getting left out of the In Memoriam section.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the In Memoriam section in our second segment, because I think there could be a few things they can tweak about that, but we'll get into that in the next segment. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Any other highlights from the weekend?
No, I think I'm ready to move on to
Fixing the Academy Awards?
Yeah.
All right, so in our second segment, we'll have Joanne come on and talk with us, and we're going to talk about fixing the Academy Awards, how to solve the ratings crisis. That's probably the biggest loser of the night, was the 3rd lowest ratings of all time. And when we come back, we'll talk about that.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Chop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Can't wait for it to get warmer so you can start fishing again? Get over to the Dock Shop. where they have the latest in fishing tackle, marine electronics, boating supplies, and more. But remember, the Dock Shop isn't your average tackle shop. You'll also find the finest selection of nautical apparel, jewelry, home decor, and gifts in New England. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
For over 25 years, Mike Cizik Painting and Wallpapering has been the name to know for residential and commercial properties in Fairfield County. He uses only the top brands, including Benjamin Moore, for impeccable preparation and lasting quality. Call Mike now and receive $500 off any job over $7,000. Mike is currently accepting reservations for spring, so call him today at 203-770-8869 or 203-972-3310. For your custom painting, finishing, and staining needs, it's Mike Cizik.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. I'm joined on the couch with Sally Sanders and Joanne Hudson of the Richfield Independent Film Festival, which is coming to Richfield May 20th through the 22nd. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Before we talk about the film festival that's coming to Richfield this spring, we're going to go back in time again to the Academy Awards this past Sunday.
Pick your brain a little
here of how to fix the Academy Awards. The big loser we were just talking about was the ratings were third lowest of all time, lowest in 8 years. Length of the show went after midnight again for the probably 10th year in a row.
I mean, that's typical.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
what do you think
kind of
about
expect it.
cutting the show, moving it up earlier? What are some of the suggestions that you would have?
My husband doesn't like to watch it, so I wouldn't have seen a lot of it had it not been after he went to bed. But as far as the ratings, there was an active movement not to watch it. I know that usually, because I come from theater and I have a lot of friends in film and theater, you know, on the Facebook, there's usually people are posting all the time, and it was silent. Among my friends. Yeah.
So no real social media interaction on that end.
Yeah, yeah. So the hashtag Oscars So White was
really hurt it this year.
There was hashtag not watching or something, I think, that was going on. Yeah. But I thought that Cheryl Boone Isaac's speech was very moving, and I like that she charged the people in the audience.
So hopefully this time next year we're not talking about this. We're talking about higher ratings and a better show that people are actually watching.
I really hope so.
And participating in. You don't think maybe moving it up on Sunday night might help the ratings at all?
You mean earlier?
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking
6?
the Super Bowl starts at 6 on Sunday and is the highest rated event of the year.
The Super Bowl actually starts at 6, right?
Yeah. And so why can't the Academy Awards
so the Academy Awards,
so they're not ending at midnight on East Coast time? Right. No one wants to stay up till midnight if they have to work the next morning.
But the red carpet thing...
But then on the West Coast, what time is it
starting?
Yeah,
I mean, they're starting
it would be 3, a nice Sunday afternoon activity.
Well, that's an idea.
I think there'd be a lot of pushback from the Academy members just because getting dressed in a tux and a gown at noon.
That early in the day?
Yeah, it's even hotter.
What about moving it to a Monday or a Thursday? Those are 2 high rating days.
Really?
You see a lot of big TV shows on Thursday night, Monday night, or some primetime stuff. You see I think it was the Grammys were on Monday night. Would you watch it if it was on Monday or Thursday night? You think that would help it at all, or do you think
I don't think the timing has a lot to do with it.
So you think Sunday is where it should be?
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of plan that it's going to be late, and it's late.
Yeah,
So you don't mind going out and staying up until midnight?
No, I just expect I'll be tired the next day. It's.
What did you guys think of the scrolling along the bottom when people won? Would you keep that or leave it?
Did you notice that? This was the new thing this year.
Yeah,
they
cut the speeches in half.
So that people didn't have to list all of their technical staff,
really?
their hairdressers and their
agents. Blurting out names and going a mile a minute.
I want to thank.
And I think one of the things had the Inside Out winner in his scroll was like, "Yes, kids, we're getting a dog." He wrote it to his kids.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they got to type in their own things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you kind of prepare it.
Or their people typed in their own things.
Right.
For them, yeah.
And so they were trying to save time with that, but the show still ended up being just as long as always.
The the speeches after an award were 45 seconds this year, which
Right.
is what, down from a minute and a half?
They really cut it down.
Yeah, and that seemed long enough. I
Yeah.
mean, people got to make their points. 45
Yeah.
seconds is a pretty long time when you're
Yeah,
battling.
especially in this day and age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if people's
People
attention
gotta
spans are
be
so
pithy.
short.
So you like it at 8:30 on Sunday nights. Can I
I could
suggest?
say it could start
little bit earlier.
but then again, the West Coast, I don't know how they'd feel about
So
that.
the show organization, they got through 17 awards by my count in the first 2 hours of the show. And then it took 7 awards for the last 90 minutes of the show. Can we do something there in terms of moving up some of the stuff, like maybe the in memoriam section comes earlier in the night rather than later in the night, or some of the song performances come earlier in the night? What do you guys think about that?
They didn't do all the songs this year. Right?
They only did 3, actually.
so-
Yeah.
You know, that seems like a weird kind of way to do it, to say, okay, some of you get live performances and the rest of you don't.
Yeah.
So I'd say either do them all or don't do them all.
Right.
So you could save some time by not doing
One
them
of the things I was thinking of is live musical performances could be done on the red carpet as part of the pre-show type stuff.
Yeah, have Lady
Because
Gaga
I mean that
out
saves
there,
you
yeah.
potentially 15 to 20 minutes. People are watching people like watching the stars come in on the red carpet. You can do the interview and then we're going to cut away. Here's the camera to Lady Gaga, and then we'll come back to the red carpet.
But actually, I mean, most of the conversation on the red carpet is so nebulous anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people are already
So it
tuning
might
in at that point.
dissipate the Lady Gaga performance was so powerful.
Yeah.
That would be my fears, is that you lose something that's that memorable.
Or you couldn't have done
without
the
an audience is part of a performance. So if it's, I'm not sure how that
yeah,
would
as
work
background
outside.
music, it would be kind of
Yeah.
a little
I mean,
difficult.
they affect the performance.
What did you guys think of Star Wars and Minions both being used in the show, but they were both used after 10 o'clock? Do you think that came too late? Do you think that kind of stuff?
Jacob Tremblay was certainly
Oh, he
impressed.
loved it. And we missed him actually in the previous segment. He was a huge winner. I thought that was one of the better moments of the show. But do you think that stuff came too late? Do you think maybe the Star Wars could have came maybe after Chris Rock's opening monologue? And that could be a good way to get viewers
Maybe
in.
for
That's
the
the
younger.
highest grossing movie of all time.
Well, I don't know. It was interesting the way they used animated
Yeah, no, I liked it.
introducers. But we were talking before we came on about some of the people who did do
presenters.
Yeah,
Yeah, my favorite was Louis
yeah.
C.K. Yeah, I think they should definitely have him on more.
You think he should be the host next year? Because that was another big question, is fixing the Oscars as easy as just getting the right host? Because
well,
a lot
the
of
host
these
is definitely very important.
Right, a lot of the
Chris Rock
badly
is
rated
great.
ones are, you see James Franco and Anne Hathaway, that one was really panned. You see Seth MacFarlane, he was really panned.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe getting a Louis C.K. would help the show?
I don't know. I thought he was great as a presenter.
Yeah.
I don't know if he could tolerate doing a whole evening
yeah,
of it.
I don't know if that's his
shtick.
well, yeah, I don't know if he would like it, but
You know if he
who
has the same
knows? I don't
charisma
know.
as Chris Rock? As much
He's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
He's very funny, and I thought he made a great point about the
The documentary short. is what-
documentary short. Well, just because I've been watching a lot of
documentary
short
shorts.
film.
Yeah, you've got
documentary
20 of
shorts
them
and
coming
short-
up at your film festival, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of short films. Not so many documentary
Okay.
shorts, but yeah.
I'm jumping the gun.
The
We'll
point that I know we are, but the point that Louis C.K. made about the dedication and the love that goes into it, and they're taking the Oscar home in a Honda Civic.
Yeah,
I
that was
thought
funny.
yeah.
That was probably one of
I
the better
thought it
lines
was
of the
probably
night.
appreciated by those filmmakers.
And the winner of that category was Girl in the River, right? That was that?
Yeah.
And which is an incredibly
I
moving.
haven't seen it yet, so now I'm going to.
Yeah.
I've been watching some other films.
I actually haven't seen it either, but I read so much about it. I felt like I had seen it. I mean, the story of this woman who was it was an honor killing in Pakistan.
Yeah, that was another
yeah.
one we forgot to mention, was
Yeah.
Pakistan winning the.
Yeah.
That was huge for the country.
well, huge for women.
Yeah, huge
too.
for women, yeah.
Yeah. That was
Yeah, this year's Academy Awards I actually thought was the most interesting that I've seen in a very long time because of all the issues that, it was a very political Academy Awards.
Yeah. Whether
And did you
people
like that they didn't shy away from it? They kind of kept.
People didn't shy away from
Yeah, they
it.
kept beating the drum. They sent Chris Rock out to Compton to do the interviews. They had the funny
Girl Scout cookies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause the Girl Scouts are under fire.
The
and-
funny
Yeah.
segment they had too was Angela Bassett, who did Black History Month with Jack Black. That was
Yes.
pretty funny. I laughed at that. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't show even DiCaprio's speech.
Sure. Yeah,
Climate change,
we knew
yeah.
he was going to talk about the environment. I feel like he was waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
Right there. Look at him. He was ready. He didn't want to take the night for granted. He said it.
Yeah. Well, he was nominated 6 times before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to wait, a long wait, but it was well worth it, I think.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we could do to fix the Academy Awards? We're here in the kind of...
Diversity, obviously.
Yeah.
Diversity was the big one, but I think you could cut down on the patter with the presenters if it's meaningless. I mean, it's sending out pairs of people who, do this little chit chat that's supposed to be cutesy. A lot of the times it doesn't serve the.
A lot of them are good pairs, like the Gosling and Russell Crowe, but then some of them are just the complete opposite end of the spectrum. You have Sacha Baron Cohen going out with Olivia Wilde.
Yeah,
she would have been so much better by herself.
Awkward.
You could just tell it. She was just clenching her jaw, just like, get me out of here.
Yeah, and
so was I. I was like, what is going on?
Well, he snuck his
yeah, he wasn't
costuming
supposed to
in.
be wearing what he was wearing.
Okay, yeah, it was a really bad choice, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, strike him off the list of presenters in the future, I think.
Well,
one of the things I was
he
thinking
learned
is
his
we kind of did the lightning fire round, and obviously everyone should have their moment at the Academy Awards, but if you wanted to get through some of those editing and sound stuff, just do them rapid fire, like do the sound and then do the next sound and then do the next one.
Have them sit closer to the stage. Move them up when their
something
category
about those, like,
is.
awards that needed to be like faster, and I thought they had a good pace early on in the show. Like they had 6 went to Mad Max in a matter of like 20 minutes, and I was like, whoa, Mad Max might win Best Picture. All of a sudden, I was like, ooh.
It was pretty
might get really
exciting,
interesting. We might have the long shot win, but that was fun, and thank you so much for helping us break down how to fix the Academy Awards. We're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to play the clip for the Ridgefield Independent Film Festival. Okay. We'll talk to you about the process of setting that up and getting it launched off the ground.
Okay, great.
We'll be back after the second commercial break. Thank you very much.
Find over 1,000 special stories at Hospital for Special Surgery. Go to hss.edu/backinthe-game.
I was jogging 5 months after my cartilage tear.
Skiing a year after hip surgery.
And playing grandma 4 weeks after hip replacement.
One special hospital, 1,000 special stories. See Connecticut patients at hss.edu/CT.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network. You are watching.
In 1777, the citizens of Ridgefield, Connecticut, came together to defend their town in the War of Independence. In 2016, Ridgefield will call on that collaborative spirit in support of a new breed of independence.
Everything okay?
As we come together to produce the first ever Ridgefield Independent Film Festival.
Fine, dear.
altered the whole course of British politics for at least a generation.
I'm asking you to just let us leave you in peace.
Lighten up, dude.
I couldn't resist the pressure.
View films from around the world in iconic Ridgefield venues. Aldrich Contemporary Art Museum, Keeler Tavern Museum, the Prospector Theater, the Ridgefield Library, and the Ridgefield Playhouse. The Ridgefield Independent Film Festival, May 20th through 22nd, 2016, in Ridgefield, Connecticut. Indie since 1777. And we've got the cannonballs to prove it.
Welcome back to Arts and Leisure. We're on the couch joined with Joanne Hudson from the Ridgefield Independent Film Festival, coming May 20th to the 22nd in Ridgefield. So tell us kind of when this idea started. How did you get it off the ground? Where have you been? Where was it all started? Where did it generate?
Well, Ridgefield has a really terrific arts council, and the idea got started there. And in the venues, the collaborating venues.
You've got 6 wonderful venues.
Yeah.
Some of the best in this county, I think.
Yeah, for a pretty small town, we have quite an amazing arts community.
We do.
And you feel like it could have been done without these venues, or you think this was the most important, having all of them together, united under
I'm
this?
sure it could have, but I couldn't have done it without them. Yeah, certainly.
You have a lot of different spaces, a lot of different...
Yes.
I mean, Keeler Tavern, you have a building that's been there since the colonial era on Main Street, to the Prospector, which just opened its doors in 2014, right before Thanksgiving. It's really just centuries of history kind of linking together in film in honor of the arts.
Well, that was part of your vision, right? Was connecting the dots on Main Street, showing people the town.
I think of Main Street, it feels to me like a campus, and it's such a beautiful Main Street. I don't know if you've been there, but obviously you have. And it's so the festival's kind of designed in kind of a figure 8. So we have filmmakers staying at the West Lane Inn on West Lane, and then the Student Film Awards on Friday at Keeler Tavern Museum. And then we're going to come down the street to Ballard Park for the Ridgefield Youth Orchestra is going to play medley of film scores to kind of open the ceremonies, and then we're going to have a free screening of a film in the park, and then go home and go to bed and get up the next day and do a whole bunch of films and master classes.
So you got to cross your fingers for that first night for good weather.
For the rain, yeah. We do have a rain plan, but I'm really hoping that we get to.
We're not even going to talk about it. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be beautiful in Ballard Park.
Yes. So it's a very walkable downtown, Ridgefield is, and so the venues are all pretty much really in walking distance.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the library and the Prospector are right next to each other, so people that are coming into town.
Yeah, even to get to the Keeler Tavern is maybe half a mile.
Yeah,
it's no distance.
And I mean, I walk it all the time.
And the Aldrich is right there on Main Street too.
Sure. And it's a beautiful walk. So
right. So the goes Keeler, Aldrich, Library, Prospector, and
Playhouse is up the
hill. Yeah.
So besides the venues, what else does creating the first ever film festival in a town like this involve?
Well,
what are some of the other key parts of the process? Because
we live in this amazing digital era, there's so many platforms available online. We used Film Freeway for our submission site, and filmmakers were able to submit their films online, and we had a community of 24, 25 screeners. We could assign them films to watch, and give they had a star rating system that's all set up on the Film Freeway platform, so people could rate the films.
Wow.
For originality, creativity, writing, direction, cinematography, all kinds of things. I think there was 10 or 11 different categories, and then it was a range of.
Are you going to have your own Academy Awards at the end of it, or no?
We're having an award ceremony.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
Yes. There's besides the official selections, which we have 72 official
from 23
selections
different
from
countries,
23
which
different
is
countries,
awesome.
Which we're really excited. I think because our mission is to make the world a more compassionate place through the sharing of stories through cinema, it kind of resonated with a lot of filmmakers from around the world. And so we really do have a...
What kind of stories have you been getting? Can you tell us some?
Oh,
yeah, without spoiling too much.
Yeah, all kinds. We have comedies, dramas, thrillers. We have documentaries. I think you saw in the sizzle reel.
We saw Margaret Thatcher, I think,
we saw
right?
Margaret Thatcher.
Historical period.
That's actually, it's a film called Generation Right. It's about how Thatcherism affected not only England, but the rest of the world, basically, for generations to come. So that was pretty interesting, and it's very short and it's 41 minutes, but it's very informative. I learned things. We have...
There's a film about Sandy Hook in there, I saw.
Yes.
Yeah, by a British filmmaker.
It is, but it is submitted from a UK filmmaker. It follows 3 families. It's called Surviving Sandy Hook, and it follows 3 families through their, their experience after 14.
Yeah.
And it's actually a very uplifting film, very uplifting. I was,
Is that that's a documentary?
It's a documentary, yeah. But we also have narrative, regular narrative features from one from Spain, one from Canada. Where else are they from? The United States.
Yeah, quite a few from the United States.
Yeah.
Australia, Belgium.
There's a few from Iran, right?
There's
3 from Iran.
Yeah, those narrative features. Those are all shorts. There's an animated short.
There's a lot of animated shorts in there. Yep.
Yeah, we ended up. I found out watching 200 films over the last few months.
How did the selection process work exactly? How did you know which ones to take in?
Well, the screeners,
the rating system actually.
The rating system helped a lot, and then we also had to, decide. Well, we have a lot of films about this, subject, or they're this, kind of similar in different ways, and you kind of take the one that is best of those, so you don't have too much of the same thing. And I would say a narrative feature is the hardest thing to pull off, to get all of the elements right, from the acting, the writing, the pacing. Just so many things that can go wrong in a narrative feature. So
you're asking the audience to extend or kind of use the most amount of their time in a narrative length feature, right?
Yeah, you are.
How many do you have of those in the festival?
We have 6 narrative features, 7 documentary features, 29 student films, and the rest are narrative and animated shorts.
Yeah, I got
and documentary
20 shorts, a couple of doc shorts. Yeah.
Are you inviting any films in, or have you?
Yes, we do. We just got some news. I can't say much yet, but we're gonna have some special
guests.
Yeah, some special presentations of a couple different things. Yeah.
Now, what's the communication like between you and the filmmakers? Let's say a director in Spain. Have you told them what Richfield's like? Is he coming to Richfield? Are they interested in what?
Yeah, some of them are. It's via email.
Sure.
And we're definitely trying to entice them to come if they can. I'd love to be able to offer them, room and board and fly them here. A lot of festivals do that when they're starting out. We don't have the funds to do that right now. If anyone wants to sponsor and do that, I think it would be really neat.
Plug away.
Yeah, because I think, part of the idea was to bring people from around the world into Ridgefield because it's such an amazing place.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that the filmmakers would really enjoy being here. And the way that this is going to continue to happen year after year is if it becomes a festival that filmmakers want
word
to
of
attend.
Mouth. Yeah,
word of mouth. And it's a very small community. They all know each other. Not all, but they know. A lot of them go to these festivals. They see the same filmmakers. I noticed when we announced our films, filmmakers were congratulating each other. They knew each other. They're happy to see, we're in the same festival.
Maybe they went to the same film school at some point.
That shows how interconnected the indie film world is.
Yeah. I think it's a small
So if someone did want to support the festival and make a donation or get involved in hosting people, they could contact you?
They can go to the website, www.riff.website, which is a new one, website. And They can also, we're part of the Friends of Ridgefield Communities program, so they can make donations to us through that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a donate button right on the website. And you can sponsor, you can donate, you can buy tickets, you can attend. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, passes are available now at a discount, so now is the time to
March 16th is the deadline before the discount.
They're going to go up, and when we're putting all the programs online, hopefully March 16th, making sure we have all the elements together. So right now, passes are on sale at a discount. We've announced the films. We have the list of films on our
right
website.
There on the website, all 72
but the
of them.
different programs of how you can view the films is not up there yet. So we're giving you a little, you're trusting that it's going to be good, so you get the ticket at a discount right now. But when everything is out there, then they'll probably go up a little bit.
Of course it's going to be good. You guys have a hashtag. You're indie since 1777.
Yeah? Yes.
And they have the cannonballs to prove it.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a cannonball at
Are there
the
going to be
side
shirts that say that or no?
Yeah, you want one? We'll make them if
I was going to say, it sounds like great merchandise right there.
Yes, definitely.
Cannonball lodged inside of the Keeler Tavern Museum. Still there, you can see it.
Yeah, of course.
Pull the shingle aside and it's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone who comes to the festival should do that.
Yeah, definitely. And the film festival is coming to Ridgefield May 20th through the 22nd. The 6 venues are the Playhouse, Prospector, Keeler Tavern, Aldridge Museum, Ridgefield Library, and Garden of Ideas, Ballard Park.
Yeah.
And for more information, riff.website. Is that right?
Riff.website.
That's the domain name.
Joanne, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah,
we'll have you on again soon to talk more about the film festival.
Okay.
We're going to head to a commercial break, or we're going to stay. We're going to do weekend events right now.
Oh, okay.
I got.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, so we're gonna give you a few ideas of what to do this weekend as soon as I find my notes. One of the first things that we're going to suggest to you is that this weekend there's a St. Patrick's Day parade coming up.
There's a lot of good Irish-themed events here in March.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing my green.
Yeah. And there's also a Maple Syrup Festival at the Stamford Museum and Nature Center, which is at 39 Schofield Town Road in Stamford, and that's going to be going on Saturday and Sunday from 11
I do love
to 3.
maple syrup.
You like you some maple syrup?
Yeah.
They have the pancake brunch as well. And
got banana pancakes there or no?
No banana pancakes, just regular pancakes. But you can see how they used to make maple syrup in the olden days, boiling it out in a log. I don't know if you remember that from grade school.
I feel like we did have a field trip.
Yeah,
or two
probably
that was like
you did. The St. Patrick's Day Parade, however, is starting out at noon, so you can go from pancakes at the Stamford Museum and Nature Center, drive down High Ridge Road and get into the center of Stamford for the parade, which starts at noon. And they're going to have, 80 units marching, all kinds of Celtic music, great fun.
It's a good way to kick off March.
Yeah,
Great event.
and you can see that it starts from the corner of North and Summer Streets and goes down.
You don't want to mix
Summer
up the
Street.
syrup though with the hash though. You don't want to eat too much Irish food with the maple
Well,
syrup. Yeah, you want to keep those separate.
Maybe a little whiskey. It's going to be a little chilly on Saturday, and being chilly is good actually for Grace Farms, where they're having their winter outing. I was thinking earlier, like a week ago, this was not going to be too good, but they might even have a little snow on the ground, as you can see in that picture. That's Grace Farms, which is off of Lukeswood Road in New Canaan. And their winter outing is going to be Saturday from 10 to 3, and it's free admission. There are all kinds of snowy, icy activities going on, and there will be food at various spots on the grounds. And the complete schedule is available at gracefarms.org/calendar.
And of course, there's more weekend events.
We've got a bunch. This is a busy weekend, and I had one more I wanted to recommend to people, which is there's a new exhibit at the Katona Museum of Art, and it's called The Nest. And this is a beautiful exhibit, all based on birds' nests and what artists have done with them. This opens on Sunday, March 6th, and it's going to be on view for a couple of months. One of the exhibitors in it is James Prosek, who lives in Easton, and he's doing a site-specific installation. It's sort of bird images that he had done originally for the Smithsonian Museum in Washington. The Katona Museum's at 134 J Street in Katona, New York.
So birders beware. That sounds like a really fun exhibit.
It's very colorful and should be interesting. KatonaMuseum.org.
Good way to get excited for the spring too. Yeah. Have a little winter event, a little spring event.
Yeah.
Some St. Patrick's Day.
I'm into spring.
Yeah.
So that's it for a few ideas for the weekend. If you want more, visit arts.hersamacorn.com.
And we're going to wrap it up from there. We're going to head out for the weekend. Thank you so much for watching Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. We'll be back next week to talk more movies, entertainment, and local events. Have a great weekend.